Hello folks, Junkie Rock 13 here, everything vaping related, Junkie Rock 13. My real name's Ross Sanders, here bringing you a little look at the IMotion 2 V Plus variable voltage device. Sent to me by VaporBitch.com. Their slogan is, "It's not smoke, it's VaporBitch." So let's take a look at this and see what I think about it. Let's get to it. Okay, so here we go. This is the close-up of the iMotion 2 V Plus variable voltage device from VaporBitch.com. Okay, it's a nice cardboard box. The opening, and you'll notice that the device is there, a battery, a clearomizer. I believe that there was another clearomizer right here, but I can't find it, or I misplaced it. And then taking this off, looking inside of the box, you'll notice that it does come with a rather inexpensive battery charger. Okay, toss this off to the side. A little user manual with some instructions of the device and the features. And what else do we have? A quality control sticker. Okay, so let's toss this off to the side. Okay, and we will discuss the device and the clearomizer. Now the clearomizer is just a basic CE4. Okay. Put that back over there. And then the battery that it comes with is a ICR 18650 2200 milliamp 3.7 volt device. Flat top, no nipple. Okay. Now, for the purposes of the review, I am not going to use this battery. I am going to use the AW 2000 milliamp hour battery. And the reason why I'm going to use that is this battery has been performing a little bit better than this one. And we'll take out the device here, place that out to the side, and as you look at it, it is a very nice quality looking device. It really is. The weight of this device is rather heavy, okay? It is made out of a very thick metal. I am not 100% sure if this is stainless steel. Okay. But it is a very thick, very heavy duty. I believe this is like a... I'm not exactly sure of what this white metal is under here. It's not stainless steel, but I don't know what it is. Probably a brass. But let's discuss the device. Okay, I want to show you that VaporBitch does have its logo etched on there. Very nice. The woman walking the dog right there. Okay, nice touch. Let me just throw the battery in here. And we're going to throw that positive up. Okay, and it does flash. Oops. It does flash when it makes connectivity. Okay. you notice that you get an F1 error when there's no atomizer connected to it. Let's discuss the device just a little bit before we go into the menu system. There are some ridges or some slotting on here with little pits. The paint job on here is rather nice. I did get a little chip on there and one there, but it is a really nice paint job. I like the white contrast with the stainless steel. It looks pretty nice. There is a nice deep drip well, 510. It says in the description that it is 510 Ego threaded. Okay, so it does work with the Stardust Vision Ego clearamizers and the IMotion. This is the IMotion dual coil one. Okay, but if you are a fan of the Kanger T3, it does not thread on there because there is no threading on the outside of this Ego-like connection. Okay, so it's basically, you can use the Ego skirts only if they have the 510 connection in there. I'm just gonna darken this up a little bit so we can see the screen a little bit better when I do the menu. The button is a little raised up. Okay, nice clicky button. Okay, the bottom battery connector does have some vent holes. Let me just show you that a little closer. Let's go back and brighten it up for the rest of this before I throw the menu up there. Okay, if you can see the air holes right, or the vent holes right there in the bottom connector. Now it does get covered up when you're putting the battery cap on, but if you look really closely, you'll notice that there are still little half moon, less than half moon, little crescents in the cap, so any gases from batteries can vent out. Now there's no vent hole on the bottom. Okay, like I said before, the size comparison on this, here's a Provari with the 18650. This is a standard size Provari with the 18650 extension on it. Okay, it is pretty much the same height, a little bit taller, the IMotion is, and the diameter is similar, but the IMotion is a little bit wider. As for the weight in them, they're pretty much the same weight that is with the 18650 and extension, and you know the Provari is a heavier device. As for the menu, I am going to put on this clearamizer for the menu and darken it back up again so we can see the numbers. Okay. Now when you fire the button, you'll notice that 4.0 is coming up. Now that is the voltage that is set to. Okay, and you can go up in 0.1 increments all the way to 6 volts, and then round robin back down to 3 volts, back up to 6. Okay, I'm going to set it at 4.2. I'm going to round robin one more time and set it back down to 4.2. Okay, now that is the first menu. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the first menu, and which is voltage up, 4.2. It does have a little extra time for the menu if you're used to the Provari. This is a little bit longer wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 voltage down is menu 2, and that is just like voltage up, 0.1 increments. Okay. Now menu 3 looks like SO, and it will show you on or off. Now when it is off, the device will not fire. So that is your off position of your device. Now let's set back at 4.3. Now I have to go back and turn the device back on. Okay, now the device is back on menu 3. Now it will fire. So we'll go to menu 4, which is check battery, and it'll show that my battery does have 4 volts. Okay, menu 5 is DA, which is checking your resistance of your atomizer. Now the next menu is LO, which should be for the LED lighting. Now I was confused when I got this in from VaporBitch that when you have it on the off position that this should be off, but it's not the case. The first model of this device had a different switch on it, and it allowed a light to light up like the Vaporizor. Okay, the switch lit up, and this allowed that to be turned off. Okay, that's what I was told by VaporBitch. So that menu has no effect on this model if you have the one with the silver button. Okay, so let's go through the menu. There it is, and we are back to the beginning. Okay, so that is voltage up or voltage down. So the menu system is pretty similar to the Vaporizor, and if you are used to the VMAX or the ZMAX, it does have pretty much the same click through the menu system. It is very similar to the Vaporizor though. That's it for the close-up. Let's see how it vapes, and we'll talk a little bit about it. Okay, so there was the close-up of the iMotion V+2 or 2V+ from VaporBitch.com. I will say that this device is built solid. It does feel kind of nice in the hand. I like a more heavier device, a solid, nice, well-rounded, well-built device. I like that it does have vent holes and that you don't really see them kind of built into the bottom battery cap. Little paint job, the white color on here has a nice contrast. I kind of like that. I like that it has a little drip well. I don't like that I can't use the T3 on there, that it don't have the ego threading built in. But you can use skirt devices like the Stardust or the Inokin dual coil Clearos. The button is a nice button, nice clicky, fires every time. I've had no issues with that. The few issues that I did have with this device does concern me. The numbers that I put in for voltage have not always, the output hasn't been as accurate as, let's say, the Vaporizor. Okay, right now I have this set at 4.2 volts with a 2 ohm atomizer on there, or clearomizer. Okay, and it has 50-50 blend razzmatazz is in here right now. Let me take a vape and tell you what I think about it. Not a bad vape. Let me take a couple more hits and I'll explain to you why. That's a little bit better. What this device has been doing is when I adjust the voltage up or down, it seems not to go to that setting right away. I don't know if there's a little lapse, if there's a little delay in it. I will say when you are thumbing through the menu, when you go to like up voltage, it does take that extra little couple seconds to punch in the numbers. And once you punch in the numbers that you want to set at, it takes an extra couple seconds to shut off and set those numbers in place. But they're still not set in place. I don't know what it's doing. I don't know about the delay. It's kind of weird. And in the same token, it is also not I'm having a problem getting this off here real quick. Okay. It was just coming, I was turning off. I didn't want that to happen. It would have been juice all over the place. I am just going to put on this Phoenix rebuildable. It's one of those XL Phoenix rebuildables. I'm going to put it on here because this is set a little bit higher and I could use this on the Vaporizor directly. And I just want to show you a couple things. I'm going to show you what the setting of this resistance is. Now the resistance is 2.6 on here. So you can see that. I'm going to raise it up a little bit and I'm going to set it at 5 volts. Okay. Oh wow, I just kept on, I went around the menu twice. Okay, here we go. I'm setting it at 5 volts. Alright. Then you see that extra little couple seconds. Now I'm going to take a vape. Very light, very muted vape. And it's at 5 volts at 2.6. It should be a pretty good vape. You'll notice that that vape was better, but nowhere near 5 volts. Even better. Still not 5 volts though. It's getting there. I don't think it's still accurate at 5 volts. Let me just take a couple more. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the Vaporizor and you be the judge. I hope we can all agree that the Vaporizor's voltage settings are pretty accurate. And if you don't know too much about the Vaporizor is, when I set it at 5 volts, I really am getting a steady 5 volt vape. Okay. And now I'm going to check the ohms of this resistance on here. This one on the IMotion is at 2.6 and this one says 2.6. I know you can't see that well. And now I'm going to set it up to 5 volts. I have it set at 5 volts. I'm hoping you can see that. Let me show you one more time. I know you can't see that well. It is, believe me, it is set at 5 volts. I'm going to take a vape and you tell me the difference. You be the judge of the difference between this and the IMotion. throw it over on the IMotion. Still set at 5 volts. Kind of muted. Not really 5 volt setting. That has been my experience with this device. The settings that you set the voltage to is not accurate. I know I watched a few reviews on this and they were getting the opposite experience than me. They were getting too high of a setting. They were setting it on 3.7 volts and it felt like they were getting 4.7 volts. I'm not getting that experience. I'm getting the opposite experience where it's not giving me 5 volts. If I set it at 4.3 volts, it seems like it's around 4.3, but anything up over 4.7 volts, I'm not getting accurate reading. I have tried it with the battery they sent me with it. I have tried it with a few different AWIMRs. It's giving me the same experience. I do like the device. I like the way it's built. I like the way it feels in my hand. I don't like the way that the voltage has been treating me as far as the correct numberings or the correct output. That's what I should say. Let me do one more. I will set it at 6 volts. I have it set at 6 volts. I'll vape it. Okay, I mean, I just got barely any vapor off of it. A little bit better. Still doesn't feel like 6 volts, and I just took like about 5 hits off of it. It did get better from when the first hit, okay? So I think there's a delay. I think there's something going on in there with the chip not being 100% accurate. Let me just take the Vaporizor and set it up to 6 volts and show you what 6 volts should look like. I usually don't vape at 6 volts, but I will for this video real quick. I'm actually getting a burnt taste. I don't like the 6 volt vape. So you can see that the iMotion's numbers are off. It is what it is. That's the iMotion V Plus 2 from VaporBitch.com. If you want to check them out for yourself, go over to VaporBitch.com and check them out. I do recommend their Pon juice. VaporBitch's juice is pretty good. I like their Pon really well. Okay, folks, be good to one another. Take care. Happy New Year, and keep on vaping.